Hey everybody, I have not done a review like in a while, or any video for that matter. And I'm a big Ghostbusters fan, so of course, when the Frozen Empire movie came back, or came out back whenever it did, I watched it, and I'm gonna be honest, the story is not good. I mean, just like straight up not good at all. I mean, it had its moments. Some parts definitely had potential, but by the final act, to say I was like bored, would be an understatement. And I'm saying this as like a huge Ghostbusters fan because I've been a fan of this series since I was a kid, and have never stopped. I mean, Ghostbusters the video game is my favorite video game of all time. The first video I made that was somewhat of quality on this channel was that one video talking about the Hasbro Neutrona wand and how they changed like the tip to make it orange. I think it was because like it was too much like a real gun so people could bring it to conventions, but I don't know how you think this is a gun. I mean, like, what the hell. Anyway, off topic. Anyway, back to the movie. I saw a comment like on it must be on like Reddit or something, talking about like how like teenagers and younger kids just don't really care about Ghostbusters that much anymore. And I'm sure there is some Ghostbusters fans that are around the age range, like me. But honestly, every teenager that I know, like all my friends, don't watch the movie, or haven't even watched Afterlife for that matter, which is so underrated. Like, go watch Afterlife if you haven't watched it. But if you are one of those teenagers that does watch it like me, comment, because I do hope there is more fans, because Ghostbusters does have potential to be bigger than what it is, but I think this movie just kind of fumbled slightly, but it can still regain some traction, I think. This franchise should live on because of how much potential it has. This movie just needed more time, like, in the oven, if I'm being honest, and let me get into my gripes with this movie. The villain, boring. I do not care about the villain. I don't even remember his name. The third act of this movie has to be the most disappointing thing I've ever seen. Having the end of the movie in the firehouse is just like a really strange choice. I think it can work, but we barely see them go anywhere else that's like cool or even haunted in the slightest. And no, I'm not counting the diner where they see the ghost lady. That doesn't count. The only fight they really fight like a real ghost is the Hell's Kitchen ghost that they fight in the beginning of the movie. Which honestly, I think that's a really cool sequence, because they use the gunner seat and have like that. They have that one flying trap they don't use at all through the whole rest of the movie. This had to be to sell toys, because I don't know why they used it once in the beginning and once in the final act, and that was all this thing was used for. Also, when I went into the movie, I was hoping that they fought other like ghosts or whatever, but they just don't at all, and it's like kind of disappointing. Again, back to the main villain. He just seems big, mad that he was wronged in the past and now hates humanity, which having your villain be pure evil isn't like a bad thing by any means, but they don't do it correctly. I don't feel threatened by this guy at all. Like, he turns like the ocean into ice or whatever, and then like the spikes come out, but doesn't like say that they hurt anybody. Like, he does like barely any cool things to villain. Like, I guess like the beginning scene where they're with the firefighters and he freezes them with the death chill, like, that's okay, I guess, but it was just kind of to set up the fire master that was just sleeping in the corner. Like, what was she doing there? And now time to talk about the fire master. I don't even think they should have had a fire master in this movie. Like, this guy was just straight up fire bending the whole entire movie, which is like, that's cool and all, but I don't think that fits into Ghostbusters at all. Like, I think they were just trying to do the Keymaster and Gatekeeper thing like they were doing in the first Ghostbusters movie, and I think they need to build off of more of their own ideas, because it's just not it. That's just what I was thinking, because I don't really see a reason, aside from like, oh, what beats ice? Fire. Let's go. Get a Fire Master in there. Like, maybe if they made like a proton pack upgrade that was fire-based, that would have been pretty cool. They have literally a whole team that works with the proton packs and everything. Like, they had new proton packs in the movie. What if those ones were like, had a fire-based attachment, like the video game where like you could shoot stuff, but you could like shoot the things and the slime thing and the stasis stream, but there's like a fire stream instead. That would have been pretty cool. And had more ice-based ghosts, but like, no, they didn't. They just had like the one villain, that was it. Now onto my biggest annoyance with this movie, where the ending takes place. I know that might seem minimal and whatever, but trust me, it's not. Because why does it take place solely in the firehouse? I don't understand why they needed to have it in like the most cramped space and like a place that we've already seen a million times before. This fight should have taken place like in New York on that beach thing, or literally anywhere else. Like Ghostbusters 1 ended on top of the building. Ghostbusters 2, they literally rode the Empire State Building to the museum or wherever it was, and they fought the big painting guy there. And then in Afterlife, it was in the farmhouse, which is like a farmhouse. You can say that's boring, but they had the whole trap field, and that was awesome. And then you have this movie, and it's just inside the firehouse. Like, that's it. Like, I don't understand how they thought the idea was anywhere near interesting. I'm gonna show you guys what happens in the movie, what happens at the end of the movie, I mean, using Photoshop and dragging images around. And that's how the movie ends. I find using the containment unit itself to catch the ghost cool, actually, that's not a bad idea. But all the villain does is walk in and get shot and die. Like, that's all. He, like, poses a threat a little bit at the beginning by freezing everybody. And then he's like, oh, I lost. And then dies. Like, that's all that happened. They don't even show New York fully frozen. All the VFX money went to that one shot on the beach, and that was it. The movie's title is literally Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and it barely shows them fighting anything ice-related or any empire of ghosts or whatever. I'm not expecting them to show a bunch of people dying by, like, being frozen, because that would kind of ruin the tone of it being kind of funny. But you should show the horror of the situation, not the character just saying, uh-oh, it's cold. Like, I'm pretty sure Lucky was supposed to be, like, frozen over, or be in, like, a frozen coma or whatever, like, through most of the movie, because there was that one shot in the trailer where she literally gets frozen. But that, like, doesn't happen. Either because of they thought, like, the tone wouldn't, like, work or whatever, or because they, like, oh, we need another character to be in the end for some reason. Also, about the characters themselves, like, half of them did not need to be there. Like, I like podcasts and all because I really liked him in Afterlife, but he doesn't really, like, do anything. Neither does Trevor, nor Janine, nor the whole entire R&D team. By the way, the R&D team is an interesting concept of itself, but only one member, I think, actually knows how to build this equipment and stuff. I'm pretty sure Lucky was just an intern, but why is there one guy who knows what he's doing and then an intern, and it doesn't make much sense? Like, if they showed a whole team of scientists, I would be like, oh, okay. But just that one annoying guy. Also, I'm guessing the new proton packs do nothing because they look like they would, but... because they look like they should do something, but they just don't really do anything. They have that nozzle on the tip of the neutrino wand, but that's all I remember seeing. I'm gonna bring up Ghostbusters the video game real quick because, one, that game was amazing, and Dan Aykroyd said it's canon himself. I'm guessing only the cool shit with the packs isn't, though, because they aren't in these movies, obviously. But I'm pretty sure the directors just forgot that this game existed. I feel like they had something that they could do with the packs that was interesting, kind of like completely laid out for them, and they just didn't touch it at all. Like, make like fire slime or something cool, you know what I mean? Like, they could have added that to the packs, and that would have been awesome. And then like they could freeze and they could like burn down ice in New York with the fire slime or whatever to kind of make it more interesting. Or like have the straight up just copy the slime thing from the video game and like make it so like it shoots black slime instead, because like in the game black slime like hurts your character if you walk on it. So I could do something with that, and like that destroys the ice or destroys the villain itself. And maybe that would have been a cooler weakness, like black slime rather than like straight up like metal being the guy's weakness. Also, black slime would have been so much cooler, or like whatever they did, like fire slime or something, would have been so much cooler than the stupid Fire Master. I'm sorry, but I don't understand how they thought a firebender would fit into the vibe of Ghostbusters in the slightest. By the way, I will like to interject and say that there was this video from like 9 years ago someone made about the video game Proton Pack in real life, and this thing is magical. That shit vents like the video game. That's awesome. That's the type of shit I'd be on. I love this video. I don't even know how it has only like 80k views. That's actually wild. Anyway, enough fanboying. There is another Ghostbusters the video game thing I wanted to talk about. the library, aka in this movie location, exposition dump. Now, when I watched this segment of the movie, I realized they, number one, just needed another reason for Beck to be mad at the Ghostbusters, and two, they needed to show why the villain was dangerous and wanted to freeze over the Earth or whatever. Which is like, yeah, you need to show your villain's motivations, but like, all they do is they go and read a book, which is, I will give it to them. The segment where they see what happens is cool, but they could have done it in a different way. Like, they could have found the book in a haunted location or something, not just like go to the library. But anyway, I also realized the directors that came up with this movie in Afterlife just don't know the video game exists. The only respect the video game gets is from the Hasbro Pulse team that made the Neutrino Wand have like the settings from the actual game. I think they realized, okay, we got this orb that the villain is obviously in. Now we just need to, one, show why he's dangerous, and two, to get some more nostalgia bait in the movie. Anyways, deciding an ice villain to be the villain of your next Ghostbusters movie is definitely like, it's a choice. And I feel like he didn't need to be like CGI at all, even though in some shots this does look terrifying, I will be honest. But most Ghostbusters villains, they're not CGI at all. I'm not counting like Stay Puft, by the way, because like I'm pretty sure he was made somewhat real, and like he wasn't the main villain of the first movie, you know what I mean? But anyhow, they also put the library lady from the beginning of the first movie in it, so they could get like a little Easter egg or cameo. But the funny thing is, there's a whole level in Ghostbusters the video game where they capture her and her story, which is very interesting, might I add. I should just make a video about the Ghostbusters the video game at this point. I don't even know why I'm making this video. She is captured by the end of that mission, and it's really cool. If you watch the whole segment of the library mission from Ghostbusters the video game, and then you watch this scene, they are on two completely different levels. I know like one is just like a little cameo and one is like a whole thing, but there's no reason that the librarian should be out of the containment unit by this point. Maybe she escaped, but the Ghostbusters the video game should be canon. Like I said before, Dan Aykroyd said himself that it's canon. So in the canon, there is already a time where she is captured and should not be at the library. So it just kind of feels like even worse nostalgia bait on top of it already being only there for nostalgia purposes. The cameo just didn't need to exist, to be honest. And before anyone says the video game just shouldn't be canon, the video game has a great story. And I know the packs from the game, they might be overpowered 100%. I don't deny that. So that doesn't need to be canon, I guess. And maybe Rookie doesn't need to be canon either, because he's kind of just like a self-insert that doesn't talk. But also, come on, you can't wipe away a great mission with a great story so you can have a little cameo. That should not be acceptable. I saw people on Twitter saying that this stuff was nostalgia bait, and they are right, but it's even crazier when they just break the canon just for a nostalgia bait scene. Anyway, all of this is just my opinion at the end of the day, so I understand if you guys feel differently. It's just that I've been a Ghostbusters fan basically my whole life, and Ghostbusters the video game is my favorite video game of all time. I'm very close to this franchise, and I just expected more. And this as the final product feels extremely rushed. This movie could have used a good extra half hour and changed some things around, and it would have been actually pretty good. Maybe I'll make a video like rewriting the whole thing. I'm not saying I'm gonna rewrite the whole movie. I'm saying I'm gonna write down my ideas, by the way, or like the timeline order. I'm not insane. I had fun writing this video, to be honest, and I'm very passionate about Ghostbusters, so to see this get rushed is just really disappointing. Again, if you like this movie, I understand why, but most of it just wasn't for me. And I don't want this video to be all negative. Like, Phoebe was a really good part of this movie, like how she was in the last one. And honestly, I know some people didn't like it, but that random ghost girl that was on fire the whole time wasn't even that bad. I was a little sus about the part where Phoebe just wanted to become a ghost, because I feel like there was a lot of romantic undertones that they just didn't want to go for. Because she was like, these people don't understand me. I'm gonna turn myself into a ghost. And by the way, I don't know why they didn't explain into the go deeper into the implication of someone turning into a ghost while their body is still technically alive. That's insane. I get it, they did it also because, like, they wanted the villain to say the spell or whatever, but that's an insane idea. I hope they explore it more in, like, the Netflix show or whatever they're doing. Also, in Ghostbusters the video game, they do get possessed, so it's close to that. Also, the idea of Paul Rudd's character, like, becoming an actual dad was kind of sweet, to be honest. I think they did well with that part. I actually kind of liked it. I know like I might sound like it, but I don't hate this movie at all. I just think it's like mediocre at best, and could have been better with a little bit more time and like understanding the canon better. Also, the romantic implications with the ghost lady was like 100% there. What did Phoebe mean by wanting to be physically interact with her? That's gotta be sus. Anyways, my final score is 14.5 out of third 2. Ignore the weird scoring. I like third 2. It's my favorite number. And if you want to get more simple with it, it's 45%. Like, so it's 45%, yeah. And sadly, it does not make it into Ortex's corner, which is like everything good goes into the corner and the mediocre / bad stuff goes into the abyss. So anyways, it goes in the abyss. If something is below 65%, it goes in the abyss. But if it's above 65, it goes in the corner. If you feel differently about my judgment, feel free to be civil and comment on what you think, I guess. And you could do that in the comment section. Where else would you do it, dumbass? And leave a like if you want, and I guess click the big subscribe button with the power of the Fire Master, aka Moses. Follow my Twitter if you want, and thanks for watching. See ya.